we react to the top soccer headlines going on in the soccer world. First of all, I think the biggest headline has to be the U.S. men's Olympic soccer team. They announced their roster for the Olympic Games at Paris this summer, headlined by Walker Zimmerman, Miles Robinson, and Georgi Mihailovic, the three overage players that will be involved in the squad. A heavy MLS influence amongst the squad, which is not what most of us U.S. soccer fans want to hear. We know MLS is a league that's trying to grow and trying to really be the really trying to get into the next level. But at the same time, we are practical, realist fans, and we understand the quality and the levels of Major League Soccer at this point in age. But the squad is announced. I think this is I know this is the first tournament that the U.S. men's team has been in the Olympics since 2008. If you do the math, that is a 16-year gap since the last time the U.S. men's men's soccer team has been at the Olympics, which is really a disgrace. But at least we were able to get it done this year. The Olympic soccer team is restricted to players under the age of 23. But as I said, there's three overage players that are allowed, which will be Mihailovic, Robinson, and Zimmerman. This is Mitrovic, the coach for the U.S. U23 team, coach that'll take charge at the Olympic Games, came out saying, "Today is a special day for us. We announced our roster and we are excited to go to the Olympic Games. We are going there after 16 years of not qualifying on the men's side, but also we are very excited that we are going to be together with our women's team after almost 2 decades. Obviously, as an overage player, on the men's side, my cycle, we didn't qualify." This is what Walker Zimmerman said, by the way. "That's when I thought my dream is over. I won't have a chance to play in the Olympics. And then as things materialize later this year, just getting this opportunity is amazing. It's something I've always watched growing up, and it's something I've always wanted to participate in. And again, I thought that was over, and so I'm excited. I can't wait to get going in France." We know the situation with the Olympics and how it's not really looked at the penultimate in terms of international soccer. And, because Olympics don't qualify as an official FIFA competition, club teams aren't required to release the players, which does make it tricky. When Mitrovic was asked about that, came out and said, "We all know that it was actually a really difficult process in the last 8 to 10 months, first talking to the clubs and trying to get all the players released. Yes, there are challenges, but whoever we end up with, it was with the roster that we really believe that can represent us in the best way possible. And I feel very, very good about the team that is going to Paris." Now, obviously, we're not sending our best. Most teams are not sending their best. When you see the likes of Giovanni Reina, Yunus Musa, Florian Balogun, Giovanni Reina, Florian Balogun, Josh Scally, Chris Richards. I'm trying to think. There's plenty of players that we are not sending to these Olympic Games that are age eligible. But there's a lot of other countries that are not willing to do the same thing. If you look, Spain, they could really create a super team with Lamine Yamal, Nico Williams, and the crew. But, France, the same thing. But despite France not being able to create the ultimate, they're taking a really, really strong team and some strong overage players in Mateta, Alexander Lacazette. That's a grave game that the U.S. has in that opening game. A very dangerous game that could really go bad when you look at this team. Because this team, I'm gonna read the roster later, but this team really lacks any sort of attacking ability. I don't see where the goals come into this team. I think midfield, they're okay. I think defensively they're solid, and center backs, with the two overage players. And they also have one of the U23 center backs that I like. But as part of the fullbacks not strong. Right back almost not existent. And that's the problem with having an 18-man squad as well. You are limited with the things that you could do. 15 of the 18 players that are part of the squad have made appearances for the U.S. men's soccer team, which is good. And Zimmerman is a veteran. He played in the 2022 World Cup, and he started in games in the World Cup, and he has 42 appearances with the team. So that's good. 10 of the 18 players are with MLS clubs, as I said. And yeah, by the way, I talked about how the U.S. take on France in the opener in Marseille, actually. It will be 2 days before the opening ceremony. They also take on New Zealand, and then the final game will be against Guinea. And the U.S., they announced their team will be Patrick Schultz, Gaga Salina. That'll be their two goalkeepers. The defenders, Maximilian Dietz, Nathan Harriel, Miles Robinson, John Tolkien, Caleb Wiley, and Walker Zimmerman. Midfield, Gianluca Busio, Benjamin Kromashki, Jack McGlynn, Georgi Mihailovic, Tanner Tessman. And then their attackers are Paxton Aronson, Taylor Booth, Duncan McGuire, Kevin Paredes, and Griffin Yeo. Kevin Paredes really being the potential star of the squad. And then they announced their alternatives, which will be Josh Atencio, Jacob Davis, Johan Gomez, and John Pulskamp. So yeah, interesting roster there. Alvaro Morata, he came out and said there's no respect for me in Spain. He said it's probable that Euro 2024 will be his last tournament with the country. And he also, talked about the chances of him leaving Atletico Madrid, saying in Spain there's no respect for anything or anyone. Morata, when talking about this, saying it could be my last tournament with Spain, who he told the newspaper to. It's a possibility that I don't want to talk about it too much, but it's probable. In Spain, it's hard for me to be happy. Without a doubt, I'm happier outside of Spain. I've said it many times. Above all, because people respect me in Spain, there's no respect for anything or anyone. The other day, people said I was crying on the touchline because I've been given a yellow card. What nonsense is that? I was crying because my country, with me as a captain, had got into the semifinals. I could never criticize someone who was crying because of that, but I'm criticized when I cut my hand off to win the Euros. I tried to enjoy the tournament, which could be my last games with the national team, and in the future, what will be. Maybe one day they'll even miss me. Each day the moment for leaving is closer. That's why I enjoy it. That's why I cry. That's why I'll cry whatever comes next, for good or for bad. De La Fuente came out saying, I agree with them completely. The treatment a star like him receives is totally unfair. He leads by example in everything he does. I am in disagreement with anyone against Morata. I position myself on the side of Morata as a person and a footballer. He is our captain and he has our support. Marseille and United are in talks over Mason Greenwood. Manchester United are in advanced talks with Marseille. They're trying to loan him with a potential clause for a permanent transfer that could put Greenwood, that could see Greenwood go to Marseille. The 22-year-old just spent the last season on loan with Getafe, where he scored 10 goals in 36 appearances, and he's now set to return to United for preseason this week, with having 12 months left on his contract. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Mason Greenwood could do at Marseille if they're able to get that loan deal over the line. Thank you for tuning into the GSMC Soccer Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us. So please remember to subscribe to the show and leave a positive review. It really does make a difference. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram for more content and updates. Thank you once again and have a wonderful, wonderful day.